Welcome to today's episode. Let's talk about today's guest. We have Krinal from FreshBooks, Senior Manager SEO with them. How are you doing today, Krinal?
Doing great, Ernesto. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's a pleasure to have you on and to have FreshBooks on our episode today. And let's get why our listeners are tuning in. So in your own words, can you tell us a little bit more?
For sure. So, hey everyone, my name is Krinal. My pronouns are he, him, and his. I work and manage the SEO team as here at FreshBooks, which is a SaaS-based accounting software. Started sometime in 2003 by Mike McDermott and Levi Cooperman. Essentially, it's an accounting software that kind of helps small businesses send invoices, receive payments, track their expenses, reconcile with their bank accounts, and giving them back more time in their day-to-day and taking care of their financial reporting so that businesses can keep up to date with their financial health. In addition to this, FreshBooks also offers payroll, expense tracking, mileage tracking, and some other features depending on what market you're in. FreshBooks has offices in 6 different locations and have customers in more than 200 countries. The company's been around for a little over 2 decades now. So lots of things happening on the FreshBooks side of the fence.
That's important and great to hear that. And so then that way our listeners could get a good understanding of FreshBooks then. If you could sum it up, what would you say is the key problem that you guys like to solve for clients?
So the key problem that we like to solve for small business owners and their accountants is different for these 2 segments. It's for small business owners, we solve the key problem, tracking their expenses, sending invoices and receiving payments, and having your books done for you automatically, because all of this is being done on the same platform. While on the accountant side, the key problem that we solve is managing multiple clients using all different tools and technologies and software, and managing their books all centralized from one location.
Okay, perfect. All right, awesome. So that is it fair to say that your vertical, your segment is usually just small business owners, accountings, or is there an ideal ICP for you guys?
So in terms of industry and vertical targeting, really service-based businesses can take maximum advantage of FreshBooks. Marketing agencies, creators, professionals, law firms, IT firms, consultants, and trades and home professionals, contractors. These are some of our top verticals.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. So then these industries, how would they usually find out about FreshBooks? Is there a top client acquisition channel for you guys?
Search is one of our top acquisition channels, as you can imagine, and that's across paid and organic. So if you're a contractor and you search for, hey, how do I send an invoice? How do I receive money online? How do I manage my books online? How do I file my tax return, stuff like that? You'll likely see us somewhere educating you about how to set up, run, and grow your small business and how FreshBooks can help in that pursuit.
Okay, awesome. Great to hear that. And so that way our listeners who are tuned in could go ahead and visit you. You could always check them out at freshbooks.com. What role does the website then play for some client acquisition?
Well, the website plays a major role in client acquisition. It helps educate our audience about the product. It helps inform how to use the product. There's also a 30-day trial period which users can sign up through the website and then start using the full suite functionality of the product. So the website is pretty much the starting point in customer's journey for us.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. And on that note, is there any tools or tips or methods that you would recommend to our listeners as far as some website lead generation?
So we've made significant investments in terms of trying to make sure that the user experience on the website is smooth and then their users are able to find the information that they are looking for without having to navigate complex architecture. So in terms of lead generation, I would say we use a tool called Qualified that kind of personalizes your experience depending on the pages you're visiting. And so, for example, if you're visiting a payroll specific hub article, you'll likely see more payroll-related information come up through the chatbot. And that kind of makes it easier for the user to say, hey, not only these folks are educating me about how to set up and run a payroll software, they also have all these amazing small business resources that a business like me could use. And so that way we are trying to simplify the user journey for our audience.
Okay, perfect. Awesome to hear that. And now let's switch gears a little bit, Krinal, and let's talk about you as a leader. you being the senior manager SEO there for FreshBooks, what are some key tasks you focus on your day-to-day work?
Great question. So I've been with FreshBooks for a little over 3 years now. It started as a one-person SEO team. Now I have two direct reports working with me and with our partners, our vendors and contractors. The day-to-day looks something like this. In the morning, I'm trying to look at our numbers and go, are we on track to hit the targets for this month in terms of the traffic, the trials, and the upgrades that we're expecting? Are all the projects on track? Does anyone need any help? Are there any technical issues that may have come up given the size of the website because it's a few thousand pages? And then in the afternoon, we have meetings with different cross-functional teams to say, hey, FreshBooks is launching this brand new feature. How can organic team help? And so I'm talking about strategy and how can the organic team help increase our footprint for that specific feature in that specific market. And then we kind of wrap things up to kind of have meetings with our vendor partners to make sure everything's on track.
Definitely. Okay, awesome. Sounds like you have a full plate on your hand, but you're making it grow after 3 years. So kudos to you for that there. Awesome.
And I have a amazing team to thank for that, which kind of make sure that the things are running smooth.
Definitely, that's important. I mean, it is a team effort. So kudos for you mentioning it, your team there. So on what you were mentioning right now, I mean, there is a lot of content out there. So where do you keep up? Where do you learn? Where do you keep up to date with all the new trends?
Yeah, especially with AI, I think it's becoming more and more harder to keep up with things because now you're not just keeping up with things in the since I come from an SEO background, I'm not just keeping up with SEO updates, which Google kind of has a knack of rolling, a few dozen each year, but also keeping up with how AI and how consumption for our users is changing. And so I subscribe to a number of different newsletters and kind of try and spend some time during the weekend going through top content on the internet across those newsletters. A couple of ones that I'd like to mention. One is called TLDR, which is kind of a tech newsletter, kind of gives you a quick summary of the top things happened in tech yesterday. And then there is Growth Memo run by Kevin Endig, who used to be the SEO head of Shopify. So that kind of gives a good summary insights into how big brands are leveraging search as a channel and how the search landscape is evolving. So that's kind of my go-to resources. Obviously don't have the time to kind of consume all the blogs out there that are being published and amazing content coming in through podcasts like PathMonk. But I wish I did.
Yeah. No worries. Awesome to hear that from you, so that our listeners can go ahead and check out those newsletters. Well, let's jump into our next section now, Krinal, then, which is our rapid fire question rounds. Are you ready for them?
Ready. Let's go.
Awesome. All right. First off, what is the last book that you read?
The last one I read was Atomic Habits by James Clear. Love the book. I'm more of a nonfiction reader myself. So
definitely. Okay. Great read there for our listeners. Next is, what is one single thing that your company is focused on at the moment the most?
That's FreshBooks Payroll. So it's a feature that we launched sometime in Q1 as well. And this is the one biggest thing that the organization is kind of focused on, making sure that our existing as well as new prospect customers have the best experience migrating their payroll over to FreshBooks or starting their payroll journey with FreshBooks Payroll.
Definitely. Okay, awesome to hear that. Next is, if there would be no boundaries in technology, what would be that one thing that you want to have fixed for your role as a marketer today?
Wow, I'm already starting to feel like I'm in a different place, but would love if that was feasible, would love 100% transparency from the users that visit the website but do nothing, right? Like a typical website, if you look at all their traffic has like a sub 1% conversion rate, wouldn't it be amazing if the other 99% left us with something to say, hey, this is what I was looking for. This is what's missing on your site. I'd love to have it in this format. I'd love to consume it in that. Like, wouldn't it be amazing that we can start serving users stuff they want the way they want it? I wish there was a world like that.
Definitely. Yeah, I think that would be interesting, right? To get a little bit of, because like, I mean, at the end of the day, the client always has the best knowledge of what the company should go, right? One thing is that the company has a vision, right? But at the end, the client is the one that dictates. So if we could get something like that, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
Yep. Awesome. Next then is, if there's one repetitive task that you could automate, what would that be?
So I think when I think of that, I think it's reporting slash insights slash reporting. So we do this every week, and there are a number of different reports that we run. And most of this is are insights that I think by now should have been automated by some sort of AI or machine learning or a combination of both. I did try launching a startup to solve that problem back in 27. It gained some traction, but then I think Google gave away that for free called Google Insights inside of analytics. But I still think that there is some opportunity there to solve for that problem, because I think number of marketers would resonate with me. We do the same type of analysis every single week, every single month, generate the same type of insights. So if that could be automated and all the executive leaders would have access to that kind of information, I think it'd be pretty handy for the execs to look at.
Definitely. Okay. Awesome to hear that. And lastly, Krinal, I mean, you already have a lot of experience in the marketing world, but what would be one advice that you would give yourself if you were to restart your journey as a marketer today?
If I were to restart my journey as a marketer today, one advice that I would give myself is talk more to sales and support teams, because as much as you can, try and learn from your customers what they're looking for and how they'd like to receive that information. The more you know about your customers and their pains and their challenges, the better you can market to them, because your marketing is completely dependent on how your users want to receive the information that you're trying to share with them. So that's one thing I'd like to share.
Definitely awesome. Some great advice there. Definitely agree. And well, we're coming to the end of the show here. But before we do end, Krinal, I do want to give you the last word. If someone forgets everything about the interview today, what is that one thing they should remember about FreshBooks?
If they forget everything about the interview today, remember one thing is, if you are looking for a product where you don't have to spend time and money in buying and subscribing to 7 different tools, you can come to FreshBooks and you can do all of your invoicing, accounting, expense reconciliation all in one pack and not have to pay for 7 different tools. So if you're looking for efficiency, think about FreshBooks.
There, you guys heard it. You could always visit them at freshbooks.com. To our listeners, I want to thank you so much for tuning in. Krinal, I do want to thank you for being on and bringing FreshBooks.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's been a pleasure. And well, I'm looking forward to hearing, to listening to our podcast. And I'm looking forward to our next episode at PathMonk Presents. Thanks a lot, Krinal.
Thanks so much, Ernesto. Have a good one.